A few years ago, I realized that I didn't want to raise my kids in a city that they would eventually hate because of the things that it could not provide for them. As is typical, you hear teenagers or children complaining about what the city does not have. I grew up in a small town that didn't have a bowling alley or mall or a movie theater or whatever, and all I heard all the time were the complaints about the city. So I didn't want that for my kids, and really wanted to live in a city that not just that I cared about, but that I took initiative in. And so really was on my heart to develop a vision that would help my kids love the city, not because of what it had or didn't have, but because of the people that existed there. And so over the course of many months in 2009, I had a vision for a city initiative that could do two things simultaneously. That first of all, it could be a portal for need, an organization that could collect the needs that weren't niched, for lack of a better term. In other words, there's a ton of amazing social service organizations, and most of them, rightfully so, have a very specific niche. There's something that they do very, very well. I wanted to kind of not do one thing well, but be a collection of many things that could be done. Could be a portal for all kinds of needs to come in. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing was that We Love St. Charles would collect volunteers from the city to then use them in the city as well for the purpose of long-term restoration. And so it's been unbelievable to watch how both of those two things have functioned together, in how much we've become aware of the need in St. Charles in that way, how quickly word got out that we would help and serve. But the amazing thing about it is that I feel like in my past that people were waiting to take initiative in their city or with people, waiting for permission from a leader to love people. And so the whole premise of We Love St. Charles is you don't need permission to love. You don't need a waiver form. You don't need someone that's coddling you to help you pursue it. It's love people and pursue them. And so our whole desire is to do that for the long term. And so we want to see a family in their position of need, which could be a litany of things, and then we want to sit down with them, assess those needs, and then work with them in the process of long-term restoration, not just writing a check or giving a hug. As is typical, people serve well for about a week, and then the situation gets overwhelming. They don't know what to do. The heart of We Love St. Charles is to see it through, even if it's just one family at a time. It's better one family at a time really getting to the place of restoration than trying to meet the needs of everyone and not really helping, but just writing checks or giving high fives. Probably one of the greatest examples of that is the city of St. Charles, which works closely with us, had called us about a family here living in our city, and it was a dire situation. The husband had lost his job. They were on the brink of losing their home. They had a special needs child in the home as well, and not able to provide for their needs. And so I sat down and just really got an assessment of what was going on there in the home and how things were going relationally, and just developed a plan. Started building a resume, built a wheelchair ramp for the child, paid for rent and food. And then the hard time came. He still didn't have a job after a month, so what do? Well, we stepped in, though he had applied for many jobs, paid for rent again, continued to work with the family. It took 8 or 9 months for him to get a job, and $15,000 or so later, and all the investment and what typically would have stopped up short because of not having the kind of the gratification of the quick hit and then the instant fix, the Band-Aid fix. We got to watch this family now be completely self-sustaining. They went from not knowing where food or money was going to come from to rent, to now the husband having a full-time job and rocking and rolling. And that to me is the essence of victory in terms of long-term restoration, is not getting tired or stopping short of seeing a family really reach its full potential, and at the same time not enabling, but empowering them to use their gifts and to be the people that they've been made to be. So it's truly been an unbelievable thing. We've served right now 370 single moms and their families here in the city of St. Charles. We've passed out in the last 3 years well over 1,500 brand new coats to the doorsteps of people, and several other aspects of the organization. But the main premise has been love people without an agenda, love people with a motive of their long-term restoration, while taking folks from the city who desire to serve and don't have an opportunity and put them on the doorstep of service. And then what happens is you potentially can see a city actually change. It doesn't take 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. It takes many, many, many. And I've told my wife and many others I want to be buried here in this city. And my lifelong goal is to watch this city change. But it's definitely been an amazing experiment turned reality. In 2009, I casted the vision of We Love St. Charles to the mayor of St. Charles, then Patty York. And she was instantly enthralled and very interested. And we built, over the course of her tenure, an amazing relationship. Really drew close together. She helped support financially from the city's resources, but also just became a great advocate. And then she lost the next election to a woman named Sally Faith. And we had yet to make connection, but here recently, in the last several days, I actually just met with Sally, Mayor Faith, and had a great opportunity to cast the vision for We Love St. Charles to her as well, to get her backing and support. We've been working closely with the city regardless, but it's neat to see the city's administration here in St. Charles coming behind what's happening here and being interested. And again, we don't want to be a distraction to what the city's already doing, and they are doing a phenomenal job in so many regards. We just want to come alongside, and there's so many amazing organizations already here in St. Charles doing phenomenally well. We see our role as playing our part in the opportunity to love the city well.